At the turn of the millennium, endurance racing in America was booming. The ALMS wasn't just a test of speed, it was a test of reliability, strategy and pride. In GT racing, Porsche's 911 GT3R was untouchable. Lightweight, rear-engined, perfectly balanced. The car was a masterpiece born from decades of motorsport experience. BMW had just released the E46 M3, a car everyone respected on the road. But in racing, it wasn't in the same league. Still, BMW Motorsport and their American partner PTG wanted revenge. They'd been beaten too many times. And when you back a bunch of German engineers into a corner, you don't get surrender. You get innovation. They looked at Porsche's dominance and thought, alright then, let's build something so extreme. It'll rewrite the rules BMW engineers knew they couldn't win with the standard M3's inline 6. It was a beautiful engine, sure, but in endurance racing it lacked the muscle. So they went rogue. Instead of tweaking the S54 straight 6, they built an entirely new heart for the M3, a 4.0 litre naturally aspirated V8, codenamed P60B40. This thing was a race engine through and through, compact, lightweight, and capable of revving to nearly 8,000 RPM. It made close to 493 horsepower, and the sound? Like thunder tearing through the paddock. To go with it, BMW used carbon fibre panels, massive aero and sequential gearbox. The M3 GTR weighed just over 1,100 kilograms, making it an agile, furious little weapon. And here's the best part. BMW technically made it road legal. LMS rules said GT cars needed to be based on production models. The definition of production was vague. It didn't say how many road cars had to exist, so BMW built 10, just 10, barely streetable versions, each costing over $250,000, with a stripped interior, carbon roof, and that mad V8 screaming under the bonnet. Homologation complete. Legal? Barely. Brilliant? Absolutely. When the 2001 ALMS season began, Porsche expected business as usual. Then BMW rolled in with the M3 GTR, and suddenly things changed. The car was lightning fast. On the straights, it destroyed the 911s. Through corners, it danced with balance Porsche couldn't match. At Mid-Ohio, BMW took their first win. Then at Sebring, they humiliated Porsche again. By Petit Le Mans, BMW had 5 wins in 8 races. 5 wins. In a series Porsche had owned for years. The M3 GTR was untouchable. Faster, lighter, and perfectly engineered for endurance racing. Porsche's engineers were stunned, their drivers frustrated, and the fans, they loved it. Watching the underdog flip the hierarchy on its head. But behind the scenes, Porsche was fuming. Porsche's complaints started immediately. They claimed BMW's car was illegal, arguing that the V8 engine wasn't part of any real M3 production car. They weren't entirely wrong. Those 10 road cars BMW built were basically race cars with number plates. BMW's defense was simple. We followed your rules. If you don't like it, change them. Did not go down well. Porsche launched an intense lobbying campaign within the FIA and ALMS. Meetings turned heated. Engineers accused each other of cheating. Officials were pressured to reword the rulebook. And guess what? Porsche's influence paid off. In 2002, the rules changed. Now, to compete in the GT class, your car's engine had to be available in at least 100 production models, not 10. And just like that, BMW was forced out. The M3 GTR was effectively banned overnight. It wasn't that the car was illegal. It was that the rules were rewritten specifically to remove it. Porsche was back in control. The M3 GTR was gone after just 1 season. But the damage was done. BMW had exposed Porsche's vulnerability. For one glorious year, they'd built a car so ahead of its time, the only way to beat it was to ban it. After its ban, the M3 GTR became mythical. BMW never raced it again, but its legend only grew. A handful of road cars still exist, locked away in collections or BMW's own museum. Reminders of what happens when engineers push boundaries a little too far. Then in 2005, the M3 GTR found a second life. Not on the track, but in the video game, Need for Speed, Most Wanted. For an entire generation, that blue and white striped M3 GTR became the poster car for rebellion, a symbol of defiance, power and speed. Even today, when you hear that V8 bark, you know exactly what it is. It's the sound of BMW saying, "Don't tell us what we can't do." The BMW M3 GTR wasn't just a race car, it was a statement that rules can be bent, giants can fall, and sometimes the underdog bites back. It humbled Porsche, it shook up motorsport, and it became one of the greatest legends in racing history. If you enjoyed this story, drop a like, subscribe, and let me know what other legendary cars you want me to cover next. Because trust me, the M3 GTR might have been banned, but it'll never be forgotten.